Hey guys, welcome back to the show. So today we're gonna talk about Joe Biden and his sexual allegations. Obviously, in the last weeks or so, this has become a bigger story for him and his campaign. And today we had Joe Biden come in the Morning Joe show, and Mika went in and questioned him heavily on his sexual allegation towards him from Tara Reade. Let's watch the clip.
But, Mr. Vice President, as it pertained to Dr. Ford, everyone wanted, high-level Democrats said she should be believed, that they believed it happened. You said if someone like Dr. Ford were to come out, the essence of what she is saying has to be believed, has to be real.
No.
Why?
No, what I said, it has to be.
Why is it real for Dr. Ford, but not for Tara Reade?
Because the facts are that, look, I'm not suggesting she had no right to come forward. And I'm not saying any woman, they should come forward. They should be heard. And then it should be investigated. It should be investigated. And if there's anything that is consistent with what's being said, and she makes the case or the case is made, then it should be believed. But ultimately, the truth matters. The truth matters. It's period. I fought my entire life to change the whole notion of the law and the culture around sexual assault. And I fought to strengthen and protect the process for survivors. I believe we've come a long way, and we have a long way to go in this system before we, in fact, are in a position that there's a fair and unbiased view. But at the end of the day, it has to be looked at. These claims are not true. There's no cooperation. I mean, they're not true.
Mr. Vice President,
I don't know what else I can say to you.
Are you absolutely certain? Are you absolutely positive there is no record of any complaint by Tara Reade against you?
I am absolutely positive that no one that I'm aware of ever has been made aware of any complaint, a formal complaint made by, or a complaint by Tara Reade against me at the time this allegedly happened 27 years ago, or until I announced for I guess it was in April or May of this year. I know of no one who's aware that any complaint was made.
So there you have it. That's Joe Biden came in and forward and actually answering some questions about the sexual allegations that Tara Reade came forward against, put against Joe Biden. What do you think about this clip, Kenneth? What do you think about it? I mean, obviously, I don't know if you have seen the whole interview, but you had an idea how this was going to go because it was said that this unit was going to go down today in the morning.
Yeah. He says it's about expected. He needs to play the woman card because they went on a crusade against Trump for 4 years about the exact same thing. But most importantly, Trump and the Republicans are already comparing her to Christine Blasey Ford. They're already saying, hey, yeah, see, they're credible, just like hers. And yada, 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 because that's what Trump gives. That's what happens. And so at the end of the day, it's like everything went out as you would expect. Everything went exactly as you would expect.
Even though Mika, I guess I did kind of press against Joe Biden by keep bringing up the question about the fact that if Democrats are trying to downplay the story of Tara Reade and her sexual allegations towards him, and he saying, look, if the Democrats took the Kavanaugh sexual allegations against them very serious, with little less evidence that the evidence there is towards you, then how come you guys don't do the same thing, right? It sounds kind of hypocritical.
At the time of the Brett Kavanaugh hearing, they were saying you didn't need an investigation because they're not asking about the law. It's not a matter of law, right?
Yeah.
That's what they were saying. Now that, everyone is saying the same about Joe, they're saying, well, no, you have to investigate, you have to have X, Y, Z. And it's like, it really just shows the double standard. Like I said, this is the stuff that makes Republicans look good, right? This is exactly what I was talking about when I said Democrats make Republicans look good. Because they have one standard, and as soon as they get hit with their own standard, they flip it. And then they say, oh, it's not bad. And the Republicans look at that and they say, yeah, see, it's not, we're the same way. And so it just keeps negating each other. They keep negating it. I said they went on this whole crusade for about 4 years with Trump. Had a sexual allegations against him. Went on this crusade for 4 years. Brett Kavanaugh had sexual assault allegations against him. Went on this huge publicity crusade. As soon as Joe Biden has sexual assault against him, all of a sudden it's silence. He could take a month before he starts responding to it. Sanders, AOC, Nancy Pelosi, Hillary
Yeah,
Clinton, Stacey Abrams all asked before Joe Biden
yeah.
himself.
It took him like a
This is the
month.
first major interview, yeah.
Yeah,
And Chris Hayes is getting dragged for it. It's just like, so when Republicans win, or when people say, hey, why don't Republicans get punished like Democrats do? This is why. This is why. Because when you pick a topic, Republicans look good because Democrats go out there and they change the standards for themselves.
yeah, yeah.
So people just say, oh, I guess it doesn't matter then.
Yeah, yeah. Even though they like to like argue, like, oh, Donald Trump was able to just put it aside and no one care. How come you can do the same thing? It's like you can't really do that, bro. Like you trying to hold him to the specific standards, and now you not break the rules for you. Yeah, that doesn't look right in front of the massive of people you want to gain the vote from. You get me? And
Right. No, exactly. Because next time when the next candidate comes out and they have sexual assault allegations, people are just gonna look at, well, you didn't care about Joe Biden, so I guess sexual assault allegations don't matter then. They're not serious, whatever. Then move
yeah,
on.
yeah.
And then they just lose one attack after another because they can't help themselves to the same standard.
Yeah, I can't help to think that both Donald Trump and himself, maybe both his campaigns are gonna come to and a certain agreement, like do not ask about none of the litigation towards each other, unless one of them, in this case, might be Trump, the one who might break the rules between one another, and then they start attacking to each other. But I think at the beginning, if they do go to the debate stage, it's gonna be hard for them not to just. I think they're gonna just try to not bring it up because they know both of them might lose in that situation, especially Joe Biden, right? Since he's so recent that this story is being targeted against him and in the campaign he's trying to.
Of course, because this is look what's gonna happen, right? You can go down a list of arguments that he used against Trump, right? And you can have you go down the same list. Trump has an easy counter for each of those arguments, right? They can if they say, "Hey, you outsourced jobs," right? Donald Trump, you lost jobs. He can then turn around and say, "Well, Joe Biden, you voted for NAFTA." They say, "Hey, Donald Trump got people killed, whatever." They say, "Hey, well, you voted for the war in Iraq." They said, "Hey, they say, hey, Donald Trump gave this huge tax break, or they want to, say Social Security, or they want to say all these things." Trump has like an almost equal opposite counter to all those things,
Yeah,
and so it's because he just keep negating it. And so now the last attack they had against Trump was like, "Oh, you're a sexual predator," and now he has another thing to say, well, "Hey, guess what? You're a sexual predator."
yeah, yeah.
So that's another thing you just cross off the
Yeah.
list with attacking.
And today, I think there was another allegation coming towards Joe Biden, where I think someone came forward with a story about them being like on the age of 15, and Joe Biden actually commented on the side of her boobs and said, "Hey, you got good tits right there." And I mean, even though a lot of people are gonna say, "Oh, that's nothing," they comment on the side of your boobs. Not a big deal, but it was a 15-year-old who, during that time, she did that to her, and she felt like harassed by him. So, I mean, maybe more stories might come on forward against him, but most people are saying, that's nothing compared to the story of Tara Reade, right? But there you go. I mean, like you can, most people like to, will come forward and try to compare Donald Trump and Biden side to side and say one is better than the other because he has less allegations towards them. And it's sad that that's an argument we had to make.
This is so far, and the thing is that it's like I said, Trump doesn't have to prove Biden is worse than him. He just has to prove that he's just as bad. That's it. Because Democrats put themselves in a position where they said they're better than Trump. They say, "Oh, this is the worst guy. This is the boogeyman." So if you could prove, hey, if Democrats are normal and they're acting the same as I am, then I must be normal too. Or they're both boogeymen. Or we're both boogeymen. And because they put themselves on Democrats on a pedestal, he wins automatically.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's all. I think the Biden campaign is gonna obviously already suffering a huge deal because of this. There might be Pretty sure like big consequences if this starts like going down in a down spiral to hurt his image completely, especially him as a Democrat. You don't just have the allegations that you're a corrupt politician and that you're in favor of Wall Street and all these corporations, but also now you have a sexual allegation against you and all this like misconduct of being too not aggressive, not it's not worse, it's too friendly,
Touchy.
too touchy. Even you could go out there and watch many pictures of how he's way too friendly with all the female counterparts, and
He touches them without their
the
consent. They're clearly uncomfortable. You can see it on
the
their
worst
face.
thing is he doesn't really care what with the age of of most women. And, he's also doing things to minors, and that's very creepy and that's very disturbing to see. Especially, you can see even a video of him and Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton being very uncomfortable. Him, hugging her and not letting go. And I mean, the Democrats cannot come in and say, "Oh, I don't care about this." Like Nancy Pelosi the other day said, "Oh, that's Joe being
That's
Joe,
Joe.
man. What do you want to do?" I was like, "What the fuck?"
Can we just go out and say that's Trump being Trump?
Yeah, but that's that. Like today, I made a comment on it. It's like, bro, don't bring. I don't want to hear people bringing up Donald Trump's allegations if you can accept this as a moral standard for you and Joe Biden. You get me? So that's it's sad because now we're here. The level is here. Like the bar is set right there, right?
Oh, that's low.
So actually, I put it. Yeah, I put it really high, but yeah, right here. But yeah,
It's not even a screen. It's not even a picture.
it's not even there.
That's how low. That's how low.
Uh, so based on that, let us know what you think about this sexual allegation that actually was brought up in an establishment outlet like MSNBC and the morning Joe show. Yeah, I think mostly it was pretty. They follow to the T to what you said last time, right? That they had a script of how the Biden campaign wanted people to follow based on the allegations and based on the proof, right? That's one thing that they focus on this interview so much that Joe Biden is like, look, if this is true, there's must be proof. And the proof is that there's that Tara Reade supposedly filed a complaint against me long time ago. And that file must be somewhere. If you can't find it, that is not true.
Yeah, I mean, you could
So
just
I was
look
like, what the
at
fuck?
Mika. You could just look at Mika in an interview. It sounded like she didn't want to ask him the question.
Yeah, yeah,
Like she was like so hesitant. I
yeah.
was
She
just like,
even brought
interesting.
up the clip from CNN, right? When Tara Reid's mom went in and actually
Yeah, I mean,
called right Larry King live, and she brought up the allegation, but not towards Joe Biden. She didn't name anyone, but she actually was so overwhelmed that she needed to tell the story to someone, and she told Larry King live, and no one brought that up.
nope. Like I said, that's not the point. The point is they got caught. Like this is again, they got caught by people slipping for a month and a half about Joe Biden and say, hey, this is a big story. Why are mainstream media covering it? They tried their hardest not to. They hoped it would go away. You could tell they hoped it would go away. They wouldn't have to talk about it. And when it didn't, they were like, damn, if we don't cover it, people are going to know we're frauds.
Yeah,
I mean, people already know they're
I
frauds,
mean
but
the
they
fact
get,
that they had
they
to
got
cover a month
it.
later sounds very like you're guilty of
No, they
it.
wanted it to go away. Yeah, no, they wanted it to go away. They were hoping it would just fade into the background.
Yeah,
And when it didn't, they got hurt.
yeah, and now I think that now they double the damage of what they could have done if they would have just said something in the beginning, right? They would. I think if they would have said something in the beginning, they would have mitigate some of the damage that has been done. But now, after a huge and a whole month of you not saying anything and having all the people like fucking Bernie Sanders coming first, right, on the allegation itself, then it looks really bad. It looks really bad, especially in the interview. We say, "Oh, this is not true." Then, if you were so sure this shit was not true, how come you didn't say anything? All right,
I
so
think his staffers was just and people who were associated with him or people who just defended him were erasing their tweets of against
The Me
Donald
Too
or
movement. Yeah,
Brett Kavanaugh. Yeah,
yeah.
when they were saying all these things, like, oh, you just have to believe women, blah
Believe woman.
blah. The fact that they were getting rid of them, it showed them how much like
Yeah,
hacks they are,
yeah,
how big of a fraud they are.
yeah. I wanted to say something else based on this, but I think I just erased my mind, man. Maybe next time, but uh, yeah, Joe. I mean, let us know what you think about this story and how Joe Biden doesn't seem like he's guilty. I think we both agreed that obviously he's a lot. He has a lot of things to hide. Obviously, he hired the same people that what's his name? The dude who the
Wednesday.
yeah, well, yeah, Weinstein. So he hired the same staff that was like I think image controlling the damage controlling his image, right? During the situation when he got accused of all those sexual allegations towards him, and Joe
Yes.
Biden actually hired the same people who helped him, so he could save his image for the campaign, and that's should tell
Yep.
you a lot. It should tell you a lot. So, yeah, we didn't know what you think, and please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Help us to grow. Thank you.